Hey, boys and girls, it is Friday and it is about 12:25 in the afternoon, and it's time once again for a little bit of math and a little bit of story time. You'll notice I'm in a different area today. I'm actually in my dining room. Thought it would be a little bit easier to write in things at the table than it would be sitting on the couch. So anyway, hope everybody's doing okay. I still miss you guys very, very much. And I hope all is well with you guys. So let's go ahead and look at the very first problem that we had. Your paper looks like this, except mine has spots on it from sitting on the counter. So yours probably doesn't look like this, or maybe you don't even have one like this. But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at number one. Number one says actually it's number 26. There were 48,566 people at a Sunday football game. To the nearest thousand, how many people were at the game? So we have the number 48,566. This is just some review. We did this at the beginning of the school year. So they are wanting us to underline the place value that we're rounding to first. So we're going to round to the nearest thousand. So let's count our places here. We have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. We're underlining to the thousands place. Of course, the next place is the 10,000s place, but we're only looking for the thousands place. Then we're going to circle the neighbor to the right. So our neighbor to the right would be our 5. So we're going to circle that. And then we'll do our little chant. When the neighbor next door has 5 or more, round up. Round up. All right. So is this 5 or more? Yes, it is. So we're going to make a 4. This neighbor makes our 8 become a 9. And then this circle reminds us that everything else behind it is a 0. Okay, so rounded 48,566 rounded to the nearest thousand is 49,000. All right, let's do the next problem. You'll notice that I drew a little bar model for you. There were 30,090 fans at the stadium on Saturday. The next Saturday, there were 22,977 fans. How many more fans were at the stadium on the first Saturday than the second Saturday? So we're going to set up our bar model like this. Okay. And we're going to put our big number up here because we know that this plus this equals this. If we were using little cubes, we could measure them up. We could match them up so we would know that these cubes put together would make this cube. So think of this as like our cubes. So we're going to put our big number on the top. That's 30,090. And that was fans on the first Saturday. Okay. And then the next Saturday, there were 22,977 fans. So we got 22,977 fans, and that's the second Saturday. We want to know how many more were the first Saturday than the second Saturday. Well, since we know this plus this equals this, 22,977 plus something equals 30,090. We know that it's a little difficult to add up to 30,090, so we're going to subtract instead. So we're going to take our big number, which is 30,090, and we're going to subtract 22,977. All right, now this gets a little tricky for some of us, but I always say, bigger bottom, better borrow. I have to look at my bottom number and my top number. I cannot borrow from a 0, so I have to go over here and borrow from my tens place. That makes this an 8. That makes this a 10. So we're going to subtract what we have so far. 10 minus 7 is 3. 8 minus 7 is 1 because the numbers are smaller on the bottom, so we can subtract. Okay, now we have the same problem here. 9 cannot be taken away from 0. 9 cannot be taken away from this other 0. 9 cannot be taken away from here. So we are going to borrow from our 30, and we're going to make this a 29, and then we're going to make this a 10. Okay? So 10 minus 9 would be 1. 9 minus 2 would be 7. And 2 minus 2 would be 0. So how many more? 7,113. Now we know we can check this to make sure our subtraction is right. So we can do 22,977 plus 7,113. 7 plus 3 is 0. Oops, I got to get this over here a little bit. Carry your 1. 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry your 1. And we get 30,090 for our answer. And we would label this fans. More fans. Okay? That's the second problem. I hope that you guys figured out the mistake that Mrs. Brown made in her video yesterday. Let me know if you couldn't find it. Have your parents text me, but yeah, I messed that up. But you know, I only make a couple mistakes a day. So that was probably my first or second one. So, okay, so we're going to set the math aside just for a second, and I will be sending your parents another math problem later today. This one will have to do with decimals, so I'll be sending that to them, okay? So now we're going to read a little bit. Let me move my computer a little bit here. There we go. All right, so we're going to read a little bit from Out of My Mind, and we are on chapter 24. So we know that yesterday they got to the where they were going to have the contest, the quiz bowl, and of course Claire and Molly were kind of not making fun, but kind of said, "Oh, what if I'm ready if she messes up?" That's what Molly said. And but there was a really great guy there who was like the stage manager or something, and he said he had a son named Rusty who was also in a wheelchair. So he was just really excited to have her there. So that's really cool. So let's see what happens here on in chapter 24. All right, we're on page 206, chapter 24. It's time. Cameras rolling. Someone calls out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He points at the man at center stage. The moderator, a slim guy with hair that looks like it has been glued into place, brushes a speck off his tuxedo, adjusts his red striped tie, and begins speaking right on cue. "Good evening," he says with that perfectly modulated voice that announcers seem to be born with. "My name is Charles Kingsley, and I'd like to welcome you to the Whiz Kids Southwest Ohio Regional Competition." Cheers all around. "In 2 weeks, the winner of this competition will travel to Washington, D.C. to represent our area at the national championship." More cheers. "We wish you the best of luck to all of our young competitors." The studio quiets. "The rules are simple," Mr. Kingsley explains. "Teams will be asked 25 questions. Each correct answer from each 4-member team is worth 1 point. So the maximum total team score is 100 points. He pauses so the cameras can show the scoreboard. Then he announces, the two teams with the highest scores from all preliminary rounds will meet for what we call a quiz off. So point totals are critical. The winner of that final set of quiz questions will be declared our local elementary school level champion and will proceed to the nationals in Washington, D.C. The team that emerges as the winner will appear live on national television on Good Morning America the next morning. Cheers and applause. Our first 2 teams to compete tonight will be Woodland Elementary and Spalding Street Elementary. Take your places, ladies and gentlemen. The 4 contestants from Woodland and the other 3 members of our team walk to the testing area, waving for the cameras. Catherine rolls me to my position, makes sure I can easily reach the buttons, then she gives me a quick hug and walks away. "I'd like to take a moment," Mr. Kingsley says, "to introduce a very special participant in our competition tonight. Her name is Melody Brooks. The cameras all point in my direction. The studio lights are incredibly bright and hot. I blink rapidly. I feel damp and sweaty. Although the other contestants will stand, Melody will be seated as she answers the questions. We've made adjustments to our answer board so that she can access the buttons, but nothing else. I hear she's a fierce competitor. I try to wave, but I figure I look goofy and wobbly, so I pull my hand down. Rose stands next to me with Connor in the middle and Claire on the far end. I feel like I'm going to throw up, I hear Claire whisper. Don't you dare, Connor hisses. We'll start with a practice round so you can familiarize yourself with the button system. Everyone ready? Which of the following is a mammal? A, cat. B, bird. C, turtle. D, spider. Everybody, including me, pushes A, of course. The screens in front of us light up with the letter A. Don't you wish all the questions would be that easy? Mr. Kingsley asks, chuckling. Yeah, right. Remember, 2 things, he reminds everyone. First, this is a team competition. And second, this is not a test of speed, but of accuracy. Teams get more points if all 4 contestants come up with the correct answer. And the 2 teams with the most points meet for the finals. Are we ready? Ready, the 7 contestants on stage answer. I start to hit the word ready on my board, but I decide to concentrate on the contest instead. Round 1, we'll have 25 questions. Let us begin. Number 1. I tense. Here we go. The average lifespan of an adult mayfly can range from A, 1 minute to 1 hour, B, 30 minutes to 1 day, C, 1 day to 1 week, D, 2 weeks to 1 month. Bing, bing, bing! Everyone hits their buttons. Once the answers are locked in, the readouts are displayed. Everyone on our team answered B. 1 person on the Woodland team answered A. Mr. Kingsley smiles and says, Woodland has 3 points and Spalding now has 4 with all correct responses. We can do this. I can do this. Bring on the next one. Number 2, he intones. The Battle of Lexington and Concord in the American Revolutionary War were fought in what year? A, 1774, B, 1775, C, 1776, and D, 1777. That one's a little tricky. I press B, however. So does everyone else. The score is now 7-8. Mr. Kingsley continues. In literature, the word oxymoron means which of the following? A combination of contradictory words. B, the outcome of a sequence of events. C, an implied reference to a literary or historical event. Or D, a symbolic story or narrative. Fairly sure the answer is A, but that word could mean big-headed, crippled kid who thinks she can win in a national quiz competition. When the answer is shown on the screen, Connor got it wrong, and so did 2 members of the Woodland team. So the score is now set at Woodland 9, Spalding 11. We're still up, but we have 22 more questions to go. The next question, Mr. Kingsley says, deals with math. And she says, oh crap, I'm dead meat. There are 2,357 paintings in an art museum. The museum has 124 rooms. Which is the reasonable estimate for the number of paintings in each room? A, 10, B, 20, C, 60, D, 200. Yep, dead, rotten meat. Let's see. I got to visualize a museum and rooms and lovely paintings. How many in a room? Not sure. Divide what into what? Not sure. I'm going to say 60. When the answer flashes as B, I feel like an idiot. But Rose got it wrong too. And so did 2 kids on the Woodland team. The score stands at 13-11. By the time we get to the 25th question, I'm sweaty and thirsty, but I'm pumped. The lead bounced back and forth between the 2 teams a couple of times. Sometimes they were in front of us, and sometimes we forged ahead with points. But I got most of the language answers right. But the math questions stumped me. Connor can't spell, so we missed several of those questions. Rose is weak in history. Claire has trouble with science. The Woodland team was about the same. Some kids good in some areas, others good in others. We now come to the final question for our first two teams, Mr. Kingsley announces. He clears his throat and begins. A weather event that measures 6.5 on the Richter scale would be A, tornado, B, hurricane, C, earthquake, D, tsunami. Bing, 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 bing. I punch C and relax. I did not have a tornado spaz. Connor, Rose, and Claire got all the final questions correct as well. 2 people on the Woodland team answered hurricane instead. When the results are tallied, our team has a total of 81 points. Woodland ends up with 77. Congratulations, Spalding, Mr. Kingsley says with a polished smile. The 2 highest scoring teams will meet for the final round later tonight. Good luck, and we hope to see you again. Victory for round 1. As the show breaks for a commercial, we're all escorted to a special waiting room in the back. The students from Woodland look really disappointed. That's it for them for the whole competition. All they can do now is watch as the second 2 teams head to the stage for their session under the lights. Mom, Dad, Penny, Mrs. V, and Catherine are all waiting for me in the back room, hugging me and kissing me like I've won the lottery or something. Catherine does a little happy dance. Dad tells me he filmed the whole thing on his camcorder. You rocked, Melody! Mrs. V shouts. Oh, I'm so proud of you, sweetie, my mom says. Can I have a Coke? I type as quickly as I can. I feel breathless. Everybody laughs as Catherine rushes to find me a paper cup for the sodas that are sitting on ice in the waiting room for the contestants. Mom pours dribbles of the ice-cold Coke into my mouth, one sip at a time, making sure I don't spill on my shirt. I am so thirsty. I don't even care that people from the other teams are staring at me. Mr. Dimming, after talking to Rose and Connor and Claire, bounds over to us, beaming. This is such a thrill. Melody, you are amazing out there. I'm so proud of the team and extremely proud of you. Thanks, I tap. What's next? We wait for the next teams to compete. Then we'll meet and beat the other high-scoring teams and pack our bags for Washington. Don't pack yet, I type with a grin on my face. I've been packed for 10 years, he tells me. I've just been waiting for the right team. This is our year. I just know it. He wanders off to talk to the other parents. I never thought about what teachers dream about. I had no idea what a big deal this is for him. Rose comes over and squats down next to Penny. I like your hat, she tells Penny, who is holding Doodle closely and wearing a blue polka-dotted hat with a red feather. Wowsy! Penny says gleefully. How's my favorite baby girl? Rose says in her whispery voice. Wowsy! Penny repeats. You did really good, Melody, Rose says to me. You too, I type. You think we have a chance for the finals? Yup. And Washington? Yup. And being on Good Morning America? Oh, yeah. Claire stays on the other side of the room with her parents, but Connor ambles over and stands next to Rose. You're okay, Melody, he says. You beat me on a couple of those. You rock in math, I tell him. I know, he replies with a grin, but I can't spell. I hope they don't have any spelling questions in the finals. I gotta go to the bathroom, Rose says suddenly. I am so nervous about the finals. She hurries out. I know what she means. Butterflies, moths, giant bumblebees flutter inside me. When we were on camera, it felt like it took a million years to complete our round, but just in a few minutes, the second set of contestants come back to the waiting room. The school with the little crowns won round 2 with 79 points. Then, within another half hour, Edison Elementary clinches the third round with a score of 80. Finally, a school called Perry Valley wins the fourth round with 82 points, just one more point than us. I watch them, Mrs. V tells when they troop back into the room, excited and victorious. They're really good. Should we worry? I ask. Of course not. Our team is the best because they have a secret weapon. You. Suddenly, there's a rush of activity in the room as stagehands come in to get us. Perry Valley and Spalding Street, we need you back on camera for the finals. You're our top 2 scoring schools. Congratulations. We hurry back to our places. The lights seem brighter this time. Mr. Kingsley returns to his position, gets his microphone adjusted by the stage crew and shouts, Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final round of our regional Whiz Kids competition. The winners of this round will represent us all in Washington, D.C. in just 2 weeks. All members of the winning team, along with their chaperones, will receive an all-expense-paid trip to our nation's capital, 3 nights in a hotel, and tours of the city. Trophy! Trophy! Someone yells. Oh, the famous Whiz Kids Championship Award. The winning team in Washington gets to take home that large golden trophy. They receive a guest appearance on Good Morning America, and their school will receive a check for $2,000 to be used for academic endeavors. Lots of whoops at that. Let us begin. Teams, are you ready? Ready, they all reply. I am ready too. All right, that's the end of chapter 24. Looks like we're going to be getting into the final round, and then we'll find out what happens. So, I don't know what I'm getting ready to say. Parents, I sent you guys a message today with some worksheets, like daily math tasks that the kids could do. I had one parent tell me that they were not able to open it. So I'm going to share it to the kids' Google Classroom. So if they get onto their Google, if they log in to Google on a computer or a phone or any device, they have to log in using their email that we log in with when we're at school, and then their password. And once they get there, they can find their Google Classroom, and I will put that document into the Google Classroom. It's just daily math stuff that can keep you busy working on math concepts. So there are some other things coming down the pike that we'll be working on a little bit later, talking about some Zoom meetings and things like that if this continues. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day and happy weekend. I will not talk to you again until Monday. I will go ahead and post a math problem for today, but I won't give you the answer to it till Monday. So, all right, I love you. I miss you all, and I'll see you soon. Bye.